In this video, I'm going to show you how to bind off in a rib. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove my stitch marker because I don't need it anymore. I don't need it to mark the beginning of my round because the beginning will be marked by my actual bound off stitches. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to knit a stitch, then I'm going to knit a second stitch, and here's the tricky part. I'm going to take the first loop and pass it over the first. And that's one bound off stitch. The next stitch here you can see is also a knit stitch, so I'm going to knit that and pass the first loop over the second. That's 2 stitches bound off. The next stitch is also a knit stitch, so I'm going to knit it and pass that stitch over. Now the next stitch is a purl stitch, and I'm just going to purl it with my yarn in front and pass the stitch before it over it again. The next stitch is also a purl stitch, and I'm also going to purl it and then pass that one over it. So, and then the next stitch is a knit stitch. I'm just going to knit every knit stitch and purl every purl stitch. It's pretty easy. And that's how I'm getting my stretchy bind off to work. Because if I were to bind these stitches off just normal, like I normally bind everything off, it wouldn't give me a stretchy edge. And you can see that the edge has got some nice stretch to it. And these stitches are also looking really good when they're bound off. They make a nice looking little braid there. And that's how you bind off stitches in a rib in continental knitting style.